And while they're coming up, let's have Vera talk about the G5 permit where they're shutting people up.
Howard first, Mike Bernard, please.
For people who want to get started doing something right away, I have 100 of these signs and maps. And what we want to do is indicate to all the people that we have to get to, we have to wake up people to the fact that this is happening at all and move this out of this room. So what I have these with the stakes, and I have maps for people who want to cover their areas so that every time the pipeline, one of the proposed pipelines crosses the road, people will see this sign next to it and just become aware that there is a pipeline happening, because most people aren't. So anybody who wants to participate in this can come to me, and we'll go through the maps and get you some signs.
Thanks for doing it.
The pipeline signs are okay, but that's not going to really get people. We have got to get the paperwork that we need for the intervening paper. We've got to get that. Someone has to print that up. We've got to form groups, and we've got to start having parties or something, because I know all the people in this group too, and it's not right.
FERC.gov, FERC.gov, and it's right on there. You can do it on. You do it online.
And can we teach ourselves how to do it?
You just
by looking
try,
at
It's simple, yes.
click right on. It's very simple.
Okay, well that's what we have to do.
Well, there's a certain time that you can do it, so I don't know if it's time yet. Whether you can do it now, you can find out.
I know.
Has to be a certain time.
Could you repeat that?
FERC, FERC.
FERC.
Federal Energy Regulatory Committee.gov. FERC.gov.
And I'm wondering if we could do something even more than that. I'd like to know that there's more that can be done besides being an intervener. That you have to speak to your legislators, let them know that you are against this, that you do not want this in your communities.
I got a phone number from FERC. It says to file a complaint, landholders. Again, a lot of us, if we all together call that number, or is it too early to call?
It might be that you have to find out, because you don't have to be a landowner. You don't even have to live there. I mean, I intervened in New Jersey. I'm living here in Pennsylvania, and I put in my name for the Spectra line, and so did hundreds of other people.
They gave us a file number in the last meeting.
PF12-9.
Sorry,
PF12-9. That's the pre-filing code. Once they file formally, it will be changed.
Yeah, but right now.
Right now,
we could-
Until January, it's right up here. PF12-9.
And when you sign it, when you write that in, don't put any spaces in it or it doesn't come out right.
And there's little slips of paper in the back of the room that has the Constitution website on here, and you can click from their website onto the FERC website, and you put the number PF129, and everything to do with this project will come up. You can read the comments by people online. There's people who commented already, and everything that they're doing and all the papers they have to file will come right up. So take one of those, and it's very easy.
And I would suggest having media wherever you meet. I have very good luck with media in Pennsylvania. Like even at this meeting, it would have been good to have some media here. Maybe they are here. But be friendly with media. You will find, I found a lot of sympathy for our cause. A lot of them are feeling the same way. They do not want this. And so they can write about it and get AP people in, your local media, and it spreads and goes viral. So it's very important to get media.
How do you approach the meeting?
You just tell them, you know, you're having a meeting, please come to our meetings, this is what it's about. You send out little press releases, just a little paragraph of what it's about, who to contact, who wants to be the contact person, and you'll start to get to meet them and get friendly with them. And I've had very good results with them.
Well, I just have a couple of questions. To be the intervener, I understand you could delay the process, but in the meantime, I'm an affected landowner. And if I will sign my easement agreement with them, my understanding is they'll just take the easement and they'll do it. So how does being an intervener relate to eminent domain?
And she's asking about being an intervener and how that works, especially if you're an affected landowner. If I was an affected landowner on this route, I'd be calling FERC directly myself anyway before they even open the intervening process, because everything they do, the feds especially, has got specific timeframes. First it was called open season, now there's the new phase they're in right now, the pre-filing, then there's the filing, then there's it's a whole process. But if you're on that route or proposed route, you start dialing the FERC up right now, and the media, easiest thing to say is tell them what's really happening.
Yeah, but she's worried about eminent domain. I understand that maybe, unless you could tell me if it's different, but for us, there was no eminent domain until they were given the certificate of convenience. Then they can do possibly eminent domain. But right now, they can't do it, so I don't know if New York is the same.
Yes.
They can't foist that on you,
That's right.
right? So you don't have to fear that. You can say no.
Be an intervener now and then.
Be an intervener, and you can say no, and you don't have to take the lease. The less people they
Keep them off
have.
your property?
Yes, you can keep them off your property, you just tell them to go off. They have to leave. You don't want them.
Private property.
It's private property, and they have to find somebody else. And don't believe them if they say, well, your neighbors have signed. It's not true.
I contacted the New York Times, Peter Applebaum, no response, and I could only get like his
The Times won't
email.
touch it.
But Peter Applebaum's
Doesn't
been
matter.
here.
All their advertising is.
And NPR and.
Why won't the Times
in
touch it?
Albany and Binghamton, and they're like,
Why
well,
not?
we don't know.
Times has done a whole bunch of
anything about
articles
Yeah, but an
against
individual, but-
scheduling.
Yeah, but
It's federal.
my email was about the pipeline. Specifically, I said, I want to let you know what's happening.
Right.
And NPR, Albany and Binghamton, nothing. I called Lopez's office, never returned the call. Gibson's office never returned the call. Crouch's office, he returned the call. He was very nice. I said, why don't you put the pipeline along the Route 88 corridor? He says, I will get back to you. Never heard from him. So, you know, and some of the people, they don't even know about the pipeline.
Right. Any other-
That's why you need publicity. You need
Go ahead.
need media to come to all your meetings. They can report on it.
I just wanted to ask you a little bit about the proposed idea of moving along 88. To me, that just seems like a ruse because we could get distracted by all these technicalities of whether it's this miles or this many miles from here or there. But ultimately, we just should understand that the bottom line is the pipeline comes in is for long-term fracking in the future, and they're going to be selling, gas to China and all these places. So we should just not get distracted by all the little technicalities because that's how you lose a chess game. A little move here, a little pawn there, and then the whole game is lost. We just have to keep our eyes on the big picture, which is that they are thinking longer term than us. This is their lives, so every day they're thinking about this plan. And they're thinking 50 years from now how much money the company is going to be making. And they're smart, and so they're doing that. And they're not, this is just the beginning, and we can't get preoccupied by, oh, well, it's just piping the gas, and they're not fracking it.
Right.
That's just going to happen before you know it.
Let me tell you, my name is Ken Loicono, if nobody knows me. I'm an environmental scientist. I've been an environmental scientist for almost 10 years. When they put in the Millennium Pipeline, I was their watchdog. I ran down there, I kept checking things, I kept looking at things, and they kept getting rid of me in a hurry. Then I found out an easy way to get the true story. The easy way to get the true story is wait till after 7 o'clock, go to the bars and sit with the workers. That's exactly what I did. And you know what I found out? I found out amazing things, but that's not the point. It's the I-88 corridor point. Everybody is really stuck on the I-88 corridor. Me and Brian, we got a email this week. Why they can't run against the I-88 corridor? The reason that they really can't run it along the I-88 corridor, even though they did give 3 pretty good reasons, but the real reason is because of the vibration of the trucks, because it is a main thoroughfare, and they can't put it anywhere within 250 yards within it because of accidents of those trucks. That's why it will never be on the I-88 corridor. It won't be anywhere near the I-88 corridor, just like it's not run along Route 97, the Millennium Pipeline. They could easily put it right next to Route 97. But they won't do it because it's too much of, whoops. Look, there's a hole in the earth. Now, anybody who is directly affected, how many of you are directly affected? All right? If you are directly affected where it's ripping your land in half like mine, ripping it in half, you get them there. They will come. 3 times they've been to my house. The first guy threw off the land. I don't want to hear stories about him and his pa going through the backwoods of Kentucky. The guy was in his 80s. He fell asleep during that meeting last week. 3 times. I watched him. The other guy came by brief. I met with him down in town. He was all right. Still blew smoke up my backside. I'll keep it clean tonight. The guy I had today, I finally got him. There will be compressor stations within Patent Line Road. How's that one? There will be compressor stations. Just so you know.
And
Now,
they're next to homes, like, within 1,000 feet, 500 feet, they're near
right?
homes.
I got out of him. He even told me the 7 people who already signed up to frack, they're going to frack the entire damn mountain. I lose my home. I lose my home.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One of the negative
Everybody
things you
else?
mentioned
Don't
about
write
the
us?
pipeline was increased property taxes. Could infrastructure explain that a little further?
Well, one of the positive things for the town is they get a few tens of thousands of dollars a year in property taxes, yes. On the value of the infrastructure that they put in. The value of the pipeline, the valve, metering stations, all that. But that's offset against the loss of the property values of the properties along the pipeline.
That's money that these big concerns are paying into the town, or?
Yes, it's part of the property taxes. The same way that NICEAG pays for a property tax on the electrical lines that they put up.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying that as a landowner, your property taxes would go up because they say
No.
it's more.
The amount that the towns would collect.
Oh, no, you. I made my right-of-way specifically say they had to pay any rollback taxes if it comes out of CREP, which is the special program. You better make sure that's in there, because it does increase it, especially in the area that it's called industrializing the property. So we're in Cleaning Green, where I am. The taxes are unbelievably low. My 1-acre house pays 5 times more taxes than my 115-acre property. So yeah, be careful, because they'll force stuff on there and they'll go, oh, your tax bill won't go up. Really put it in writing that if they do, you'll cover them. No kidding. Well, these guys have nothing but money. They just give $1 million to our local hospital they're trying to build. So then they're going to match another $1 million. That's $3 million. The hospital's all excited about it. But they have nothing but money because they have to get this done. You heard what I said. He was going to install our pipeline where Rear and I are for $65 million before Vera stepped in. And then it went to $750 million. That's 12 times their money back. And that's not even the people that are going to run it. And there's no oversight either, folks. So go ahead.
What do you want to your local legislators? That's a senator.
Who? Who are they? Not one of them has ever returned. They won't talk to us. Sandra Majors at the 111th is our rep in Pennsylvania. She wants to run be the first woman governor in the state of Pennsylvania, and she won't even talk to us. Neither will Gene Yaw. Our senator has never returned a call. I call them every week. So go ahead.
I don't know a lot about this issue, but you have these maps all along here, and I guess these came from the town. But if you want to get active and you live along the pipeline, everybody's name that has property is right here. Contact those people, the people that are going to be directly, have meetings with those people, organize them, listen to them, see if they have objections to this.
No, you need to bring them what the problems are. You need to tell them what you heard tonight, because they will not survive it if you get 50, 80% of those people along this route. The company will not survive it. They can't put it in. And then if they move it over to the next door neighbor, you go to talk to them. We never had a chance in Pennsylvania. They had everybody saying yes before it was already ready to go. Only a few of us were holding it up.
The other thing I'm thinking of too is where those maps are, like Annie is saying. Do town hall meetings if you can. Go back to the old-fashioned town hall meetings and contact your neighbors. Put an ad out and get yourselves together and start talking about it. Start discussing it. Hear the sides. Bring in information so they start to think about it and start to have a coalition in every neighborhood. Start in local.
But if people are thinking that it's eminent domain, and you can't fight eminent domain because that's And
So
from
that's
my
why you
view,
have to educate them, it's not eminent domain, it's not there, educate them.
can you change it so it's not considered eminent domain?
Well, there is no eminent domain right now. It's not in, they don't have the power yet. They have to be given the power. So
And
they
how
don't
do we
have,
prevent them from getting the power?
Get everybody.
well, you have to stop the pipeline. You have to stop the pipeline, yeah.
Okay, guys, just tell your neighbors that they're gonna take their land for 15 bucks a foot, 12 bucks a foot, whatever they're gonna pay them. All the gas is coming from where? The other end of this pipeline is in Susquehanna County, right down the street from our house. They're sucking the gas out. It's the only place that's production in the Northeast that's going. They're gonna run it right through here. You're gonna wave it, go bye-bye. Billions of dollars of gas goes by for Boston and New York and overseas. So just tell them, really? Is that America's fuel? Is that what we saw in all the commercials? America's fuel. New York City and Boston's fuel? Russia's fuel? Not for here. Nothing for us here. Even if 5 years from now they're fracking here, it doesn't matter. All that gas is going bye-bye, and it's not for us. So that's what you need to rile them up about. They were sold a bill of goods about this is America's fuel. Bring a soldier home. You know what? Don't insult the soldiers. They're not bringing any soldiers home with the gas.
And do you have another question?
I think we need to cast a very much bigger net. I think people think if it's not across my property, it's not going to affect me.
Right.
It's going to affect every single person in Sidney, every single person in Franklin. No matter what road you go across, you're going to run into it. Your creek, your backyard, your air you breathe. We need a much bigger net. Can we get this put as a supplement to the Daily Star? I think there's too many
You
people.
could, but that's why you need to have, I think, meetings. Try and think about some small town hall meetings. You start small.
I don't think meeting 5 people at a time or 10 people is going to do it.
Well, you meet with a group, whatever's on that map.
Like
You put the ad out and then
Invite
you call
them.
the people, invite them personally who are
Send them
on
a
the map.
postcard.
Ken's property's on that map and his name's not on there. The name was somebody 3 years ago that owned his property, so not all those.
Well, you just go to the public record. I mean, if you really want to do this, you go to public records, find out who owns it. Let me tell you what you just said. That 100,000 gallons of this junk, liquid of unknown origin, was dumped on my property. That wasn't from work on my property. They drove this from miles away and dumped it on mine.
This is pipeline people.
This is pipeline people.
The
This,
very first meeting I went to that Brian did at the Green Church in Franklin, and I heard about trucks and all that waste. I said, where we live, you could just back it up to a piece of road where nobody lives and let it out. Go back to your motel for 2 days and watch HBO and collect your check.
I thought I was the only one they did this. They built a training station up on my property because it's way up off the road. Then I heard stories from all over the pipeline route where they did the same exact thing. I mean, it's illegal. They can't dump this. This is stuff they couldn't dump. But they go up where nobody is, they dump it. Nobody's around. Nobody's around, guys. They have to get rid of it. It's not like they're going to do it properly. It costs them too much money.
Around here, Franklin, and I'm sure Sidney's the same, there are so many non-resident landowners that are going to carry them a whole lot less than we care.
Any other questions
Well,
for
all you
Brian,
can do is
especially
do the
with
best
this
you can. You
presentation?
can either just lay down and then get run over, or you can do the best you can. I'm not saying it's going to be 100% win. You just do the best you can if you want to, and see what happens.
I think Craig's right about getting the media behind it. Because
You have to get the media behind you. So if you see a spill, you see a problem, we call the media. We call them in, they take pictures, they do a story, and then it goes viral. Tell everybody, besides, and then call your legislators. We call everybody, legislators, regulatory, media.
Just one more thing about telling your neighbors. If you know one of your neighbors is a weekender, a downstater, try to go over there on the weekend. A lot of people who just come up here for the weekend do not realize this is happening. They just don't know it's coming. So if we wake them up and tell them, we'll have more people. So if you know weekenders.
And this is the weekend for this Memorial Day weekend.
Exactly.
Memorial Day weekend.
Go be
to
a good
barbecue.
neighbor.
If you want to learn how to get the mainstream media to your events, write this down. That's what this training is all about. I went to one before and it was fabulous, very useful. Okay, it's by Citizens Campaign for the Environment. And the website is www.citizenscampaign.org. If you go there and look for free media training in Binghamton, you should see a link for it.
If you don't see a link, write down this number, 607-321-7846, and I'll get you information on how to get there. It's coming right up Saturday, June 9th.
I'll 100% guarantee you this pipeline's going in if nobody fights or stands up. 100%. They're going to make billions. That's what you're standing in the way of. And it's not your money. You're not making a dime besides a couple grand. And if you're a neighbor of that person, you're not going to see anything but all the problems. So the key is educate the neighbors. And the easiest part about it is, I mean, I have this new thing. Go with a bowl. Instead of food you bring to the barbecue, bring a bowl full of dollar bills. What's that? Oh, I want to buy a line through your property, 60 foot wide. They go, wait, you don't have enough money there. What's what the federal government's going to give you for it? So just thought I'd get here first, and then I can sell it for a profit to them. So they're not going to like that, but that's what they do. They're stealing your land to make billions, and you get nothing. They're going to make so much money that if they gave the landowner just a small percentage of it, but that's not the issue, folks. It doesn't matter, because first the pipeline, then the fracking. That's the way it works.
If you want to spread the word to your neighbors, besides having the pipeline route signs up, I encourage you to see me and come and spend some time tabling at the canoe regatta. Lots of your neighbors are going to be here. Lots of people who live in the area are going to be there, and you're going to be able to talk to them. The canoe regatta is happening on Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning. And if anybody wants to lend a hand to talk about this issue or any issues related to gas drilling, then you're welcome to join us. I've got the list, just sign up. We're going to table where everybody else is tabling. We don't know yet.
I think we could hit anywhere where there's a bridge crossing, there's going to be people there.
We'll see me about that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We do the loud tabling. Any kind of events in your community, get a table and put out the information, talk to people. Linda?
We live in Franklin. We have tried to educate our neighbors. They laugh at us. They think that they're going to make a lot of money. We've been to every town board meeting. The town board supervisor lied to us and said, we asked him point blank about this pipeline issue, and he said, as far as I'm concerned, it's a dead issue. Lied right to our face. Everybody we've been shunned by all of our neighbors. They think that we are complete idiots, that we do not see that all this money that we spend, they do not get it. They are so ignorant and so stupid.
I know, well, they do the same thing where we are.
But the pipeline doesn't make anybody any money except for the company that's taken out. You don't even have wells on any property, so this is stealing everybody's money.
They're just looking at it as such a depressed area, and that we need some industry here, and this is going to be the answer. And my husband and I went with Vera on her tour, and I'm telling you, we went to Montrose, Pennsylvania, beautiful, beautiful countryside. It is so much poverty there, it's sickening.
Who in this room has been down to where we live? Yeah, see, there's the problem, guys. It took Greg Ball 2 hours of seeing what's going on down there, and he flipped completely. Senator Ball here, from a right-wing Tea Party conservative Republican senator in New York, he flipped from drill baby drill to hell no, it's never coming to New York State. 2 hours after seeing what's going on down there. Get down there. It's not that. It took us an hour to drive here. Get a bus full of people and go down there. You will be very much against getting this done.
Something else. We're from Long Island. We've been here 17 years. We drove, as soon as we hit the Pennsylvania border, we were in a car with the windows closed, and I smelled that gas. I have a very sharp nose. I'm used to that environment. I smelled it right away. We went to deliver water to homes for people who had no water, where they had water buffaloes. These people are poor. There is no money that's being generated in these towns. We stood there and we saw truck after truck after truck going by. Water, sand, everything.
You know, let me add one last point. Linda said about she went to talk to her neighbors and they laughed at her and stuff. On the other hand, when we started petitioning with the leather stocking pipeline, I met so many great people who were shocked and on board the second they learned that was going on. So you're not always going to meet people who are going to boo-boo you. You're going to meet people that go, oh my God, are you kidding? And be right on board. And that's what we found to be like 95% of our experience. So there are a lot of people who are against this, but they just don't know and don't know what to do about it. So by talking to them, you're helping. I can't stress that enough.
We need to empower each other and empower others so that we feel we can do something.
want to give a completely different tone to what we've been doing. We're at the cutting edge of a change of technology in our world. When New York City was being inundated by horse manure on the streets of New York, and they were wondering, how are we going to manage with so many horses and so many people? We can't make it. And then the car came, and the horse manure was no longer there in the streets. And it was a changing of technology. We're just at that point of another change in technology. When the gasoline and gas and the oil have inundated our lives and are destroying our climate and destroying our health, and we're seeing the move to the next technologies, and we don't quite know what they are. We don't know quite if they'll work the way we want, the wind, the solar, the geo, and other ones that we don't know. But we're very fortunate living in this particular moment of changing technology. It's very important for us to be strong and to believe in what we're doing, because we're doing it not just for ourselves, but we're doing it for our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren. And we are the keepers. I can see by our ages here, we are the keepers. And we have to be strong and move toward the new rather than hanging on to the old.